Welcome to industrial timber, where horsepower meets mud, ice, steep slopes, frozen ground, and machines that either prove themselves or get swallowed by the terrain. You need traction, patience, the right angle, and an operator who knows when to push and when to stop. The Rokovica 76DV pushing through thick snow gives us the first reminder of how older machines handle winter work. Snow does not forgive lazy driving. You need steady momentum, low end pull, and enough grip to keep the tractor from turning into a sled. A strong engine helps, but if the tires cannot bite, the machine is only sliding with noise. Then we move back into real mud, and the mood changes fast. When heavy machines are buried deep, every move matters. One wrong pull, one bad angle, or one impatient input can make the situation worse in seconds. This kind of recovery takes muscle, equipment, patience, and calm teamwork. They manage to pull it off, but it is a grind from start to finish. Respect the mud, or it will teach you the hard way. On thin ice, one wrong move can sink everything. A low center of gravity and strong traction make tractors useful rescue machines in these conditions. But even then, ice is never something to trust. It looks solid until it proves otherwise. Out here, the surface can betray you before the engine even has a chance to work. When the John Deere sinks deep into the mud, it looks like game over. But then two New Hollands team up, split the load, and turn a stuck machine into a clean rescue. That is teamwork in action. One tractor alone might struggle, but with the right angle, shared pulling force, and steady timing, the whole operation changes. Recovery is not just about pulling harder, it is about pulling smarter. Unstable mud can trap even modern tractors, and this scene proves it fast. One wrong entry into soft ground, one bad read of the terrain, and suddenly a machine built for hard work becomes dead weight. It is a costly reminder that before any tractor hits mud, the smartest move is always to survey the ground first. Once the tires sink, horsepower matters less than recovery planning. Then we get a comparison between two tractors with nearly the same engine. On paper, the difference may not look huge, but fieldwork is never decided only by numbers. It makes you wonder how a TM120 or TM130 would handle the same job with the right setup. Maybe those trailers come out clean. Maybe the ground still wins. That is why these clips are so addictive. Everyone watching has a machine they believe would do better. Then the tractor supremacy battle begins. Two machines face off head-to-head, both digging in, both fighting for grip, both trying to claim the crown. This is not just about engine size. It is traction, balance, tire setup, weight transfer, and driver control all working together. The machine that wins is not always the one with the biggest engine. It is the one that can put power into the ground. Then we go back to 1976 with the Upton MT 855, once the biggest two-wheel drive tractor ever built. 290 horsepower of Australian muscle dragging 18 tons of irrigation gear straight from a shipping container like it is routine work. Machines like this were not built for comfort. They were built to pull, to strain, to work, and to keep moving when smaller machines would already be done. Skip's crew may not have taken the 8-ton class win, even after pulling 15.55 tons, but they came back strong and won first in the 9-ton class at the 2012 Spencer Tractor Pull. That is the kind of comeback machinery fans respect. You do not always win the first round. Sometimes you adjust, return, and prove the machine where it counts. That is industrial timber. Tractors buried in mud, machines fighting ice, old diesel legends waking up after decades, steep slope recoveries, winter traction battles, and operators proving that skill still matters more than raw horsepower. Subscribe for more extreme tractor action, recovery footage, heavy machinery tests, and real field engineering under pressure. Then the Belarus T-40 enters a 24-hour battle with the Earth itself. Stuck, sinking, stubborn, and still not beaten, the crew refuses to quit. This is the kind of muddy drama that looks miserable in real life, but becomes impossible to stop watching. Every attempt, every pull, every rut, and every correction adds another layer to the fight. Not everyone has the guts or the skill to take on those forest roads. Deep ruts, soft shoulders, hidden holes, and heavy loads make every meter a test. The crew makes it look simple, but that kind of control only comes from experience. A beginner sees a trail. A real operator sees weight, angle, grip, and risk. The versatile 118 cold start is something special. This machine has been sitting since 2006, almost 20 years idle, and still comes back with raw diesel power. No preheat, solid hydraulics, simple construction, and tough components. That is why tractors like this earn their reputation. Built basic, built heavy, and built to last. Every seasoned operator knows that hauling heavy loads on snow or ice without chains is a dangerous gamble. The engine can be strong, the tractor can be capable, but if the tires cannot bite, nothing matters. Traction is the real boss in winter conditions. Without it, even a powerful machine becomes helpless. In tractor pulling, compressor blowouts are loud, wild, and part of the show. The sport pushes machines to the limit, and sometimes parts fail under pressure. That chaos is exactly why people watch. It is mechanical stress turned into entertainment, with every run testing how much the machine can take before something gives. Then we get a recovery that looks almost impossible at first. A tractor pulling a multi-ton beat truck off an ice-slick road. On ice, power means very little without grip. The question is not only whether the tractor is strong enough, the real question is whether the tires can turn that power into movement. If they cannot, all that horsepower just spins in place. Next comes a steep slope challenge. Would you dare plow lengthwise on ground like that? Going up, going down, or crossing sideways all carry risk. On a slope that steep, the wrong approach can turn a simple field job into a recovery job in seconds. Gravity is always waiting for one careless decision. Then the operator misjudges the boundary of the field, and suddenly the machine is in trouble. Fortunately, the recovery is handled effectively. The speed was not the main problem. The turn was simply too narrow. That is how quickly a normal job becomes a lesson in space, angle, and judgment. Then we move into a show moment that still catches attention. The New Holland T7 balancing on two wheels at the 2013 show. It is controlled, risky, and impressive at the same time. A tractor that size hanging on the edge of balance is not something you see every day. It is a reminder that machines built for work can still put on a serious show. Drop a 1 in the comments if this video blew your mind, or a 0 if it did not quite impress you. Either way, your comments tell us what machines you want to see next. Your support helps keep more real machinery footage coming. from mud pits to winter roads and every brutal recovery in between. Then comes a swampy ride that is part wild fun and part real skill. The tractor slips, spins, slides, and somehow stays under control. It looks chaotic, but keeping a machine moving through that kind of surface takes more than courage. It takes throttle control, steering correction, and knowing exactly when not to overreact. And sometimes, you just get lucky enough to witness an incredible machine in action. Pure luck, pure thrill, and the kind of mechanical power that reminds you why old tractors, mud recoveries, snow climbs, and heavy pulls never get boring. Then an old Hanomag starter refuses to fire, and there is only one option left: push it. Old machines have their own rules. Sometimes they need fuel, sometimes they need patience, and sometimes they need one hard shove before they come back to life. That is part of the charm and the frustration of old iron. Then comes one of the simplest recovery lessons in the whole video. If the tractor went in one way, the safest way out is usually the same path in reverse. Do not complicate the pull. Follow the track, reduce side load, avoid twisting the machine, and let it come out the way it entered. Finally, we see a driver who clearly knows his machine inside out. He keeps the pace steady, avoids digging in, and never lets the tractor get fully bogged down. That is not luck, that is experience. In industrial timber, the best operators are not always the loudest or fastest. They are the ones who understand the machine, read the ground, and make every move count.